everyone, and welcome to Pacifica Institute's annual Noah's Dinner. So it is so great to see all of you, and as Mr. Attila said, it is my pleasure to let you guys know about the story of Noah's pudding, along with my friend Emine.
As Dilruba said, we will be sharing a very special story with you about unity and togetherness. We're just going to introduce you to the story, and it's a story about unity and togetherness, and we're really glad you're all here today.
Yes, so let us get started. So the story of Noah's pudding, first to explain this, we have to give you guys background on Noah's Ark and exactly what took place during this time. So Prophet Noah was in charge of a group of people and was given a message from God to enlighten them, right? And despite his best efforts, he basically failed to reach everyone, and he couldn't convince everyone to basically believe in his message.
Eventually, God warned Noah of a flood that was going to come, a disaster that was going to befall the people. So he told him to build a ship and basically take all the believers onto it. Despite Prophet Noah's best efforts, many of his people remained on land. And so when disaster struck, they were washed away.
Right, and this is exactly where Prophet Noah's pudding comes into play, and this is where the story begins. So Prophet Noah on this ship, as many of you probably have heard this story before, is told to bring a female and male of each animal, and of course as many people as he can gather onto this ark. And eventually they run out of food because there's so many people and they weren't prepared to be on the boat for so long that they run out of food, and they're in a hopeless situation because they're about to starve and there's no food left.
So Prophet Noah advised everyone to gather whatever they had left because they had bits and pieces of different ingredients that like wheat, beans, and seeds, and told them to bring them all together so they can make one large pot of food basically to feed everybody. And in the end, they cooked it in a giant pot and created the world's first dessert. This is what we call Noah's pudding.
Right, and from this story, we have 3 messages that we wanted to share with you that we think applies to us as people today. So the first of these messages is the fact that being together, togetherness, and unifying together creates solutions that are not possible unless we work together. So today we have various problems on our earth, such as climate change, poverty, homelessness, hunger. These are solutions, these are problems we cannot find solutions to as single individuals or as single nations, but are problems we have to address as humanity, as people of earth. So this was displayed in Noah's pudding as people brought together whatever they had, and together they were able to create a dessert, and with that dessert they were able to eat and survive until they reached land.
Now, for our second message, I'm going to ask anybody who hasn't already tasted the ashura to take a bite out of it so we can all have a taste of what it is. And I'm going to ask people who have tasted it, any ingredients that you're able to single out, any foods that really struck out to you, like any of them that you want to know. For example, beans, there's nuts, pomegranate seeds, wheat, as far as I know. Now, these are all normally foods that we don't combine together, but when they are together, they're able to mix without losing their own individual flavors. And this is the second message, the preservation of each flavor, which goes into how even, like Dilruba said, when we unite to fight against anything or solve a problem, we're still able to maintain our own identities and mesh together in a way that doesn't compromise our own culture or religion or personality, identity, and so on.
And the third message we want to share with you is unexpected solutions. So in this story, we hear that people brought whatever they had ingredients left to create a dessert. But if you ask anyone in this room, or basically anyone in general, if you think beans or, for example, wheat would make a good dessert if put together, I would assume you would say no. However, what you have tasted and have eaten today shows that they do make something sweet. And it shows that by working together, we can create solutions that are unexpected, things we can't achieve unless we work together to achieve them.
And in conclusion, as explained in the story and its messages, we have to collaborate to solve these problems that are all over the world, in our own communities or in our countries or even worldwide. And it is only through unity and togetherness and collaboration that we will be able to solve these problems. And I hope through just this simple Noah's pudding, you will be able to at least try to visualize or maybe understand this message.
So I want to conclude tonight by saying the wise words of a famous scholar, Bediüzzaman, who's famous in Turkey. And he says, the biggest enemy to mankind is poverty, ignorance, and disunity. Thank you so much for joining us tonight and having a great dinner with us. Thank you.